Hello. Archard, how are you doing? Hi. How are you? Have you had a good day today so far? Lovely to have you here. And Mr. Nerd. Hi. Ahoy. He has been non-stop thinking about the fart clouds on his Hamsworth Pashut since yesterday. To the point now it has become a thing. Mr. and Mrs. Nerdy, yes. Hi. I'm just pre-mixing our colours whilst we are getting ready. Starting with Thunderhawk Blue from yesterday, but I'm going to mix it with a tiny bit of Abaddon Black and put it into some of the darker recesses. Been up to much today, Archange? Archangels are... My brain's broken today. Black. For black, I'm just using Abaddon Black. It does. It does look like a poop puff. You're 100% correct. But to be honest, he finds it quite amusing. Like, to the point that he's like, no, that's what it is. So we've messed with our camera settings. We've also got a new dummy battery in, which in theory should keep the camera completely charged whilst streaming without eating away at the battery life, so we should be able to then stream ideally for longer. So we're putting that piece of technology to the test today. Hopefully it works. It'd be great if it does. I've learned more about my technology and doing something like this in the last week than I have, I think, in the last 5-10 years. Just from trying to make things work. To be honest, it's so far my favourite mini to paint. I've only painted around 10 models. He has also partially painted a Carnosaur, which is really, really cool. But the base on that is phenomenal. But again, like every time I've done a really good base, it's been the cherry blossoms for my Sylvaneth. But something about the way Mr. Nerd does bases is just otherworldly to me. They are incredibly good. Just mixing up a little bit more of that bone colour from yesterday, which was Kislev Flesh. This is one of the bases. Expected the Darkwater email to go out today to pre-order Saturday. Not yet. Are getting your setup changed. I've just never bit on streaming. I'd need the PC up again. And just no space in my man cave. I understand that. We've got our setup for our kit. Our kind of kit is partially our dining area, partially our living room area. And everybody kind of walks into the house and is like, ah. They look at the setup and they're like, ah, I know who lives here. Nerds live here. It's kind of very obvious. So this is Mr. Nerd's base. It's actually the first base he ever made. And it's, as you can see, pretty phenomenal. Got a dead Skaven down here. He painted Mr. Vigori, did the banner. and use some of that technical paint, the Ard coat, to make these kind of wet looking patches that you can see if I add reflection to it. Make it look a little bit swampy. But yeah, it's very, very cool. It is a dead Skaven. Got stuck on my figure. That is in fact a dead Skaven. Holding the heads of some of his enemies, but they got their own back. Like I said, something about the way Mr. Nad does bases is otherworldly to me. Where he comes up with his ideas, I don't know, but he always does a fantastic job. The mini that gets to grace that base is a Carnosaur. Words, I get my words out eventually. The Carnosaur's not 100% finished yet, but it is already really, really good. Bringing it over now. This is the mini that's gracing this base. Eventually. Even got some blood on his claws down here. On his teeth. So you see that the rest of it is not 100% finished yet, Seraphon. But yeah, he is really, really cool. That's the guy that's going to eventually go on that base. Yes. Just tidying up a few spots on here from yesterday before I had any shading. Using a little bit of tusk or fur as well, but to clean up as well whilst I'm here. Are you working on any projects at the minute, Archangel? You can't ask me that. The answer is either too many or you have lots of grey shame then. The current situation is shameful. To be honest, like I said, we've literally dropped our, like up until like not yesterday, before obviously we were doing Warcry stuff / Sylvaneth, and now as soon as this came out, it was like, right, back burner. And I've got quite a few figures to paint, so I think we're going to be on this for a while, and then I'll suddenly remember and go, oh yeah, I was painting Warcry. I was painting Sylvaneth at some point. We're not going to be going into our local store for a few more weeks. So I've got a couple weeks to kind of finish off my Kern off. But even then, I've still got to put in the work and do it. So that's the hard part. Hello, Ballistic, how are you? I'm just doing some little tidying up, Ballistic, before I move on to any further steps. I'm good, thank you. All good, how are you? Very good, thank you. Been at work today, and then I've come home, and now had something to eat, had a little nap, and now I'm ready. I've bought everything since Hero Quest re-released. I've bought everything since Hero Quest re-released. Only open to core box and one expansion. Only a few painted. I killed Team Situ. You could deem shambolic. Many unopened. To be fair, we're a bit like that with some of our Warcry boxes. Like Mr. Ned has gone through and taken all of the actual figures out of them and built them all. Those are in grey shame boxes. Those are in various tubs in cupboards and hidden, because they are not priority right now. But the actual scenery in many parts was left in there. We've had this stuff a better part of nearly a year in some of it, in the case of some of it. And we've gone, oh yeah, that still needs building, let's take that out. And then a few weeks back, Mr. Nerb was like, oh, I'm just going to go through and have a day of building everything that we have. And then he came across my box of dryads, and he got all the bases out, and I think there was 23 bases, and he was like, and these are obviously dryads, they're not very big when it comes to Sylvaneth, they are very small. And he'd already been building a lot that day, and he was like, I don't think I have the willpower for these today. They are hell to make. Dryads are hell to make, yes, but I do love my dryads, not because they're useful for anything else other than basically just using them as cannon fodder. They're very good for that. A few times where we've gone into our local store to play, and I'm very tempted at one point to just build a Warcry of just dryads, just to cause chaos. It doesn't mean necessarily think I'm going to win, but they're very, very good in Warcry when they have this basic little ability that, when applied, basically turns them into suicide bombers. So if I apply the correct one, I can just get them to go up to his little figures, because they're only going to be an inch away to be within range to actually attack, and then just get them to essentially just suicide bomb. I won't have very many left by the end of it, but for 1,000 points, I can get quite a few, and I can cause a lot of damage potentially. Found Curse City down at Derby Bookstore, plus its expansions, opened to look at Dufar, now made, and I'm hunting Darkwater as we speak. That's dedication. Just getting a little bit of catch and flash. Catch-chan flash, I think it is actually. Just realising I missed a couple of belts or harnesses yesterday. Wish I'd go into my Guild Wars shop for a game. They're all sell in the Glasgow store. Oh, that's a shame. That really is. If anything, like getting people into play might want to actually make people buy more. We'll need updates, like whenever you build something or paint something. Almost like keeping this as a little thing of keeping you accountable. To keep you on top of all your stuff. Had a game store in my town. We kept getting vandalised, so they moved it to Glasgow. Now nothing nearby, sadly. That is really sad. There's some really awful people out there, unfortunately, who just don't want to, you know, haven't got a life and just want to do damage to other things. Like, you don't have to even be the biggest fan of Games Workshop, but vandalising it where, you know, that's people's livelihood in many ways, but also, you know, it's something that people enjoy and just ruining it for everybody else. It's a really fun hobby. It's just a shame sometimes finding people is difficult. Only blessing is my local cash converters. There's a Warhammer guy working in it. He convinced his boss to get a a Games Workshop section, and it's doing gangbusters. The only thing locally now. It's finding a way somehow, but still sad. That's why if I solo in with this Mr. Nerdy. Don't know anybody into it. It's that thing of like, it'd be one of those questions where if you asked around, like, I'm sure you'd find the interest, but without that little hub to ask people who you would know 100% are into it, it's tough. It's going in with some lead belcher. On his head, he's kind of got this little helmety type thing, so I'm going to paint that with lead belcher. Just decanting a little bit into my pot. So far, we seem to be doing okay in regards to our battery life. It doesn't seem to be going down at all, so fingers crossed. The dummy battery has actually fixed our issue. I'm just doing some cleaning up on the staff as well whilst we're at it. Since I've already got the silver out, I might as well do some cleaning up. What are your plans when you have the baby? Gonna stream still, take a break? Also with Mr. Nerd stream painting, or just like, he just likes to assemble minis. He does like to paint. He just tends to spend so much time building mostly my minis between work, because he has his own channel called, as you can see on the thing, it's called Rothmer Gaming, and he uploads multiple videos a week. So he's, at the moment, he's kind of focused on trying to get those to a point where when little man arrives in January, he then doesn't really have to do anything. So he can take the break to obviously be present. What we will be doing is, when he first comes, we will be taking a little bit of a break from the streams, at least for the first few weeks whilst we find our feet as parents. And then, fingers crossed, once we've established a bit more of a routine, we can do some more streaming. Be a lot easier when like both of us are present, because then worst case scenario, if I am streaming, then Mr. Nerd can take little one and soothe him if he needs soothing for whatever reason whilst I stream. But yeah, there'll be like a little break, a tiny bit of a hiatus, and then we'll be back to it after that. But I'm trying to stream as much as I can between now and then. And we'll keep you guys updated through posts and stuff like that. I'll like you in December when I'm back from work. Says Mr. Nerd. He has done some really interesting streams. It's a couple with me as well, because what we were originally doing at one point is on Sundays we were doing a horror game. And we realised that Mr. Nerd is... I'm just pulling this slightly to my face just so I can get behind his neck. Mr. Nerd is basically untouchable when it comes to scary stuff. Like, he's just immune to it. And in many ways, that's scarier. In fact, it's terrifying. Because we're playing games that should scare the living life out of him. And yet, he's just sometimes sat there laughing. And it's quite scary. Having a little sip of tea. Got a bit of facial hair going on here. Tiny bit of facial hair. You know, with some blonde there, I think. Of course, I will be in the stream tomorrow as we play a game of Warcry. Yes, so tonight after we are done here, I've got some scenery to paint to get it ready for tomorrow. We're going to be using, not necessarily a complete set, we've got like a tree to use, and we have 3 trees for Sylvaneth, the Sylvaneth Wildwood, so we're going to be using those as our scenery. And then tomorrow we're going to set up a full Warcry board on the table, so tomorrow won't be a painting stream, it will be an actual game stream, and we'll play hopefully for a couple hours, if not a bit longer, depending on how interactive people are, if they want us to keep playing, if they want to keep watching. We're going to just kind of do a bunch of stuff from streaming painting to playing the game. When we eventually land Kill Team, we'll do that as well. Just to kind of test the waters and see what everybody's going to be interested in. So we're still very, very new. I'm very, very new to streaming. As you guys know, my first stream was literally beginning of this week. Or this past week now, so... For the blonde, I'm just going in with a base of Xandri dust. But yeah, whilst we're figuring stuff out, we just want to try a few different things. Did you guys manage to get all the Warcry big boxes, 2 teams and terrain? We've got, I think, pretty much all of them now. There might be a couple missing. I think, but for the most part, I think we've got everything. Guy kind of has like a little mustachy beard part and some mutton chops, and he doesn't really have a mustache, so we're going to just leave that to dry. We went and bought as many of those boxes as we could find. Yes, just missing the hunter and hunter with the gorges. Yeah, we've got lots of scenery and lots of different versions, but that is the one thing I do love about it, because each box is obviously the games, the rules are still the same. It's just different scenery and how you want to play it. But now tonight, my big focus is focusing on getting it done. You asked earlier how our yellows came out on the Space Walls. Sorry, I kind of completely brushed over that one. Our change up, they did turn out pretty well, actually. The yellows are quite vibrant still. Which warband does Lord Devar and the Crypt of Blood team belong to? They are... not Nighthaunt, what's the other one? One with the dragon. My brain is so broken. Because we've got the same one. Crimson Court. And they are Soulblight Gravelords. That's who they belong to. Big team of undead. And they are really, really cool, actually. When we went into our local store for Christmas, I got some of the Christmas stuff out. I always undercoat yellow with pink. Gives a solid colour and a warm orangey hue to it. Ooh, I haven't tried that technique. I'll have to try that. This year's Warhammer Christmas jumpers are Soulblight Gravelords and Space Wolves. And they do look really cool, actually. I might try that, because I might make one of these guys have a bit more yellow in him. I might try that on one of them. That'd be interesting. Right, time to start going in with some shading now. Soulblight Gravelords, you say? That's what I'll be getting then. Yes. To be honest, they are really, really cool. Bunch of undead vampires, and as a result of that, they've got some really cool scenery. Obviously lots of crypts and tombs and things like that. I'm going to go in with some Seraphim Sepia. I'm going to apply that to wherever I put gold and wherever I put yellow for now. Just because this will kind of make it look a little bit warmer, but also a little bit dirty and a little bit dingy. Yeah, any pink like Screamer Pink can top it with Imperial Fist, yellow, 2 or 3 coats, looks nice. Okay, I'll have to try that. Yeah, I really like this wash over the yellow. Imperial Fist contrast, yellow contrast. Okay. I'll make a note of that. So next time we go out, I'll see if I can pick it up. Because I want to try this now. Sounds like it'd be really, really cool. I do love using shades like Seraphim Sepia on anything gold, because it just makes him look a little... one, brings out the detail again, but 2, just makes him look a little bit more dingy. I can't take credit for it. YouTuber Lashhammer posted this and works a treat. Ironically, she's on hiatus as she's Mummy Hammer now too. We're trying our best to not take too much of a hiatus from this. We'll take a little bit of a hiatus, obviously, right when he's first born, because we'll just be... Other than that, you'll probably just get a delirious rambling. To be honest, it's not too far off what you're getting now already, to be honest. But slightly more delirious from lack of sleep and pure confusion. So, to save you guys the pain of that, we'll take a very small hiatus. A couple of weeks probably at least, just to kind of settle. Because I think not only do we want to obviously keep engaged with this, but also I think it would be really good for me to be off for when I'm off for a year, to be working on something aside from just being mum. So I don't lose who I am, and I don't become just mum. So I can still be mum, and I can still be painting Warhammer. That works. There we go, just use some Nuln oil, and I've just applied that over the silver. I have to watch some of her stuff though. If she's got tips like that, I will have to watch some of her stuff. Just using a smaller brush now, again with the same Nuln oil. Getting this over his head as well. If I can give you any advice, even the times you're ready to tear your hair out, absorb it and enjoy it. It feels like yesterday for me. And the wee one is in its third year of college now, going to uni. Time flies. I'm not surprised. I've heard very much the same advice from a lot of people. They've all advised the same thing. So you take a breath when you need it, and then you go back in. End of the day, you're creating a human and raising a human. It's not supposed to be easy, is it? Anyone who says otherwise is lying. Just grabbing some Auric Armor Gold. I'm going to apply that over the belt buckle and the top of the staff. As long as we get through each day and he's still good and he's happy, then we're doing something right. As long as he's fed, comfy, happy, then that's a successful day in my book. There's my I don't have Auric Gold. Yeah, Auric Armor Gold is a bit of a lifesaver actually. This over the top of Retributor Armor looks really, really nice. But I do tend to find with Auric Armor over the Retributor, you're better off kind of applying a couple of coats just to kind of highlight the areas. stand him up for a moment. I've been trying to get mine to get a job in the Warhammer store. Purely selfish reasons, of course. He won't bite raging. That just seems rude. I think with almost every colour now, the Citadel colour app is a lifesaver to avoid overbuying. Yes, so the amount of times, especially before we had the Citadel colour app, that we went into our local store and we were like, oh, I don't think we've got that, and came home and realised we did, we just haven't opened it yet. And as soon as we got the app, it was like, ah, we've already got this, we can mark this off on our list. I think there was a day where I just spent a good hour organising our paints and just touching a bit yellow here. Like organising our paints and marking them all off. It took a while, but it was worth it. Okay, quite nicely now. You know what? I've never downloaded that. Need to do that. Highly recommend it, Archangel. Highly recommend it. Just going back in with some Seraphim Sepia, and I'm going to apply this to his beard now. It's completely free as well, the app, so it's worth it. And if you've got any projects on the go, you can kind of add all of your figures that are in that project to a list, so when you go searching, you literally just need to click on that little playlist essentially of minis, and you can have all the paints you need. I have done correctly. You can favourite all the paints you need and add all the paints you have into your inventory. Yes. Using that Seraphim Sepia, I'm just applying that to his facial hair now. Yeah, and it has mini painting guides. So, for anyone who is new or isn't sure where to start with it, it's actually perfect. And it's got everything. It's got 40k, it's got Necromunda, it's got Warcry, Sigmar, 40k. It has everything. Only thing you have to keep an eye out for is when it does its updates, really. It's him so far. Just going to go back in with some Nuln oil on those little silver pieces on his back. In this light, it almost looks like I haven't painted them at all. I have. They are silver, I promise. When it comes to painting, do you tend to stick to the colour schemes then, Archangel, or do you tend to kind of improvise a little bit? I'll do that, sir, as I've got a Stanley tool caddy full of paints. Can't never remember what I have, hence I have doubles. We have a few doubles. There we go. Going in with Right Gland Flesh Shade now, again. I'm going to go over the bone on his staff, the skull. And then after that we'll be moving on to our highlighting. And immediately that looks so much cooler. Right, let's get some paints mixed up now for highlighting. I'm going to start with yellow. We don't actually have a yellow that matches the undertone of Avalan Sunset, so I'm going to make one using Avalan Sunset and mixing in a tiny bit of Corax White with it, just to make it a slightly lighter hue, so I can then apply that as my highlight. So all the yellows we have are, aside from this, they're all really, really vibrant. And contrast-wise, it's a little bit too off. If not, I might try mixing a tiny bit of Phalanx yellow in with it as well. Just a little bit. I'm quite arty-farty, my brain sucks at creating. I'm good at copying, so I tend to follow YouTube schemes, paint coaches, Grimdark, Compendium. Guys like Squidmark, they are Jedi masters. I agree with you on that 100%. Kind of how it felt when we were doing our Armies on Parade board. Like, I can be really, really arty, but Mr. Nerd is full of ideas, and then I put them into play. So it works for us, actually. What about you, Ballistic, if you're still around? Do you tend to follow schemes, or do you just tend to paint how you want to? My cell pots, I put ball bearings into them and then turn them into rattle bottles. Good for keeping them mixed and not separating the pigments from the hardener. It's a very good tip, actually. Okay, so I've mixed up that paint. I'm going to try it on his knee. That's a good idea. Just need to give the baby the correct pot. Yes. Do not give the baby ball bearings. Yeah, that actually works quite nicely. Just going around the very top of his kneecap there. I think I might have found my new favourite way to highlight this Avalan Sunset. Are you going to do a snow scheme for your space? Yes, my Space Wolf bases. Yes, I am. I do, more than anything, I know it's obviously accurate, but I also genuinely just really love doing snow bases. It's one of my favourite bases to do. I've got a tutorial on it on the YouTube channel. But I'll be using Technical Paint, Valhalla and Blizzard, and then a few blues. So on this base tonight, what I'm going to do is paint this blue, and then I will add the Ard coat, which is the one that makes it look shiny. Leave that to dry overnight, and then tomorrow you guys will see the shiny effect, and then I'll do the base, finish off the base tomorrow. So I'll be coming back to this figure for a third time, but it will be worth it. Yeah, just make sure the pots say apple and cinnamon and not blood for the blood god. Noted. You got that, Mr. Nerd? Just don't put the paint pots in with the food and you'll be okay. And I don't think that's for the baby's sake, I think that's just for his sake. That the baby is a corn worshipper. We don't know this yet. Let's not corrupt our child before he's even born now, shall we? We had a question from one of our followers she's called Sign with Blood over on our Discord. Over on Discord the other day, because for some reason it doesn't let her write when we're doing lives for some reason. But her question the other day was which army will be his first, and I was like, well, depends which one's going to corrupt him the least. Because some corruption is completely inevitable, but we want to keep him as safe as we can from corruption for as long as possible. You did say he was a nurgling, so yeah. But then again, with the messes that humans make, especially tiny humans, that kind of works. He's already going to be corrupted from the start. Just very soft, subtle yellow highlights with this. There we are. That's the first yellow highlight. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of... I'll shake the paint up enough first. Where are you? Rust grey. And I might add a little bit of white to that. I do a little patch of it first, and then if I need to add white, I will. Which I think I will. Yeah, I'll add a little bit of Corex white to that. In the end it will be this one and this one mixed together. There we go. That's created quite a... I have to ignore all my other colours that I've mixed. Quite a nice like bluish grey. See you in a few, Archangel. I'm just applying that around like the outside edges of his armor. I actually genuinely really do enjoy painting the space wolves. I don't know if it's because I can use all the snow bases or because I just genuinely like them as a team, as a faction. But I just think they're very enjoyable. In the new year, it'll be, obviously once we've done all this, we've got a few projects to focus on, obviously like learning to play Kill Team. But once we've learned how to play, we can then start gathering some more stuff. And at that point, I'll probably start collecting my, well, we officially start with 40k. I'll then pick up my Dark Angels. Because I have Mr. Lion. Just adding that light blue to the inside of his suit there, on the rim there. It's actually a very nice pop of highlight there. Hi, signed. Signed over on Discord. Says, evening, missus. My Grimhouse Ghosty Goos are almost done. Just need to finish the bases. Ooh. We discovered the other day that we are both into our Night Haunt. So I'm very excited to see those. Nope, not popular. Keep it one side for now. I'm curious to see how you'll paint the Itty Bitty Watchers. The only reason I get Mr. L. Johnson was for the Itty Bitties. Says signed on Discord. To be honest, they are quite fun. They do remind me a little bit of the characters from Star Wars. So, but I might just be really colourful with some of them. Like I might paint some seriously, and then if I've got any spare, just do what you did or what you suggested, Simon, and kind of just make them as obtuse and as colourful as physically possible. Right now I'm just trying to look at the figure and establish roughly where highlights would naturally hit. And that's where I'm applying some highlights. Jawas are the creatures from Star Wars. That's it. My brain completely broke then. I could see them in my head. I just couldn't think of the word. They are the Jawas of Warhammer. Yep, the Jawas. I think they are more or less are the Jawas at this point. Just dragging his colour around the outer edge of his boot as well. Yeah, super cute and super dangerous. Even since challenging won't go near them, and he's scary AF. Yeah. That says a lot, doesn't it? That's even more reason to make them really cute, though. Because no one will suspect something so cute can be so terrifying. There we go, just made it so I can see your messages constantly now, it's fine, so you don't miss any. Right, now I've just got to decide how I want to highlight the furs. I might go in with another coat of Agrak's Earthshade first. Where are you hiding? In the middle? In fact, what I might do is a wash of Nuln Oil to make it a bit darker. So I can't go darker than black, so that would work better. And then I will pick out some lighter colours, which I might actually mix a little bit of the fur with Bugman Glow for that. I think that would be quite a nice little contrast shade for the fur. Not contrast, highlight. F1 Space Wolf was the free mini of the month, and I'm going to paint him in Thousand Suns colours. We had the same one signed, and he's the very first one I painted. It's not my first encounter with Space Wolves, but it was quite fun to paint. Yeah, I think adding the black over the top of that was a good choice. I think our battery pack that we've managed to get, our dummy battery, is working a treat, considering the fact we've been streaming now for an hour. And our battery's still on full. Success. I think our attempt at making this longer has worked. This means going forward, I'll be able to do longer streams. Which is ideal. I still have so many minis of the month to paint. I think that's the thing, like whenever the minis of the month come out, signed, I try my best to paint them as soon as possible, because then we can obviously get them up on the channel, because then it's, you know, it's current, but also I get too excited, because a lot of the time the characters I don't have, so it's nice to paint something different to what I have. Whilst he dries, I'm going to pop him to one side, and I'm going to start on Mr. Wolf Boy, I think. I feel like he needs a name. What are we going to call this wolf? Was that Walt? Walt the Wolf, maybe. He's a pretty cool figure. Just having a look at what he's got on him. So he's got like a little bit of a harness thing going on. Some furs. Obviously lots of teeth. Grimnir. That's a good name. Very good name. I think I'll do his legs in a lighter shade. And then most of his furs in... I'm either going to use Tuscal Fur, or I might use a... I feel like I want to make him brown. Or Grinfar. Or Grimfar. That would be good, actually. I'm down for just a second whilst I can figure out what paint I'm going to go for. I think I'll go in with a mixture of these two. Catachan and Night Quest of Flesh. Give him some white socks, make him somewhat cute. Oh, absolutely. His feet are going to be lighter. I'm going to make those white. And I might even brush some white just underneath his belly as well to give him a little white belly. So that when he is in his off time, he can have tummy scratches. Because even wolves need tummy scratches. Anything needs tummy scratches if you're brave enough, but I'm not sure if I'm willing enough, risking my life enough to do that. So, put this guy back in there for now, just whilst I mix up some paints. A nice colour combo, I think so. I can then use the Night Quest of Flesh to kind of blend in the white. So for that I will mix these three. So, Catachan Flesh, Night Quest of Flesh, and then Korax White. And then on his teeth, I will do a tiny bit of blood, because at the end of the day, it's still got to be, you know, it's still Warhammer. Oh, he's going to love belly scratches. Absolutely. I think he does. And I don't think he's afraid to show it either, signed. I think he does love belly scratches. I think he also likes being called a good boy. He's one of those types of doggos. Everyone else, he's danger doggo. But to people who know him, who really know him, he is good boy. What I might do actually is mix a tiny bit of Tuscal. I might use Tuscal Fur as to dry brush that across the tips of this fur at the end as well. Okay. be honest, the moment I saw there was a wolf in this, I got very excited. I think the only animals I've painted thus far have been horses. For most of the Middle Earth stuff. It's quite nice to have something else to paint, animal-wise. I don't really like space wolves, but I think they do give their wolves belly scratches. I think so. I think that's lore accurate. We can say it's lore accurate. I've kind of left the underside of his tail free of this colour as well. I'm going to blend in the lighter shade underneath that, so the white will go up his belly and up the underside of his tail as well. And I'm not really being too precious other than that about where I put this colour, because it's fur. I want it to look a little bit more natural and messy and mixed in. Yeah, I think what would be lore accurate to Space Wolves is they give all their wolves really terrifying, daunting, scary names, and then they pay them in belly scratches. That's their payment for being good boys. I step on that, yes, like Jawbreaker, just loves his treats and snuggles. 100%. Just like super twisted, demonic names, and then it's just like, this is his payment preference. He likes head rubs and a lap to snuggle in. They're signed. Sorry, so long. Oh, onto a direwolf now. We are indeed onto a direwolf. Just in time, actually. Because I have something to show you. Archangel. Mr. Nerd purchased something for the little one the other day that I'm sure you will appreciate. Just leave that there for a moment so you can take it in its full glory. We were onto a direwolf archangel. We were just saying that this little guy is kind of giving them the lore that they'll have really terrifying names, but then have really soft personalities outside of their job. So this guy is called Grimnir, I think I've decided. This is Grimnir, but Grimnir likes belly scratches. That's his payment preference, is belly scratches. The Emperor provides... Yes, he does. He provides a baby grow for a very tiny human. Like we said, we were talking to Signed about this the other day. As long as he's a better father than the Emperor, then already we're off to a good start. Which I know he will be, so that's fine. Challenge accepted. No, challenge is not accepted. Thank you very much, Mr. Nerd. I heard that. I decided to go for a brown and white colour scheme for this guy. I'm just popping this guy on the screen every time I mix up paints, just because otherwise it just loses focus. And you end up with a blurry mess. So, you can watch him, literally watch paint dry for a second whilst I paint.
You see how my really cool painted stealth suit there. Really well painted.
Really well painted.
So stealthy, you can't even see it.
Really well painted stealth suit. Yes, but at least Biggie didn't have horrible dad jokes. That we know of. That we know of. He might have. That might have been the reason why certain ones didn't like him. He could have had some pretty terrible dad jokes. Well, the Emperor's boy Horace, if it has to be fair, I mean, yeah, he's not the nicest of blokes, I will say. For his belly, I'm going to start mixing some Nightquester fur with some Corax and blending them together, and then right across the very underside of his belly and on his nose, I'll add more white. So what I'm going to do is go in and paint his belly and stuff white first, or majority white, using this mix, which you can see is like a pinkyish brown now. And then I'll blend the shades together. Are you or Mr. Nerdy gonna read Ashes of the Imperium? You gonna read it, Mr. Nerd? Don't know. To be honest, we've already got a fair bit of reading material that we need to get through. So, I think at the moment, we're not going to add anything else to our reading list just yet. Not to say we won't in the future, though.
Got the Lionel.
I do. I have a book on Lionel Johnson. I pre-ordered that once it's signed on Discord. Just mixing up some more colour. Not the expensive version, because €70 for a book is a bit much. It's a little steep, yeah. I like the OS books more, to be honest. Such as the Forest, I read that one, it was good. Ooh. Yes, The Lion, Sons of the Forest. This is my next book to read with Mr. Lion. I don't know if you heard that. One of our cats is demanding attention. And Mr. Nerd is providing, as he should. Apparently I'm getting the Cursed City book for Xmas, first foot into Age of Sigmar. Ooh. Yeah, so that's my next book to read. Ah, I seen that book the other day. Yeah, it just seems like since I've done on my lore channel, since I've done little deep dives into Lion, it just suddenly appears that he's everywhere. It was like, oh, something about this is strange. I really like Lion. I really like the Dark Angels. And then it was like, oh, he is everywhere. I think this is a sign. I am taking it as a sign. I'm just using one of the bigger brushes from our set to paint this because I'm not having to be too delicate with where I place the colour for this. on our little direwolf Grimnir. And what I'll do is right over his toes, I will add white, and his face, I will add white, and I will blend these two sections together with a mix again of this brown and darker brown combo. I secured the pre-order for Master of Right Special Edition yesterday. That'll be my next read, to be fair. Ooh. I think as soon as I go on to maternity leave, like I'm just going to be making it my aim. Geriatric line, forest walking with Grandad. Our tech is listening to us. Says signed. I'm going to paint my direwolf to look like my dog, I think. I think that's a good idea. What kind of dog do you have, Archangel? Just mixing up some more of that colour now. I want to see that doggo from Archangel. I think what we're going to need to do is set up a Discord for this channel. One, because it's just good to obviously be able to interact with everybody, but also so we can have a little section of it dedicated strictly to animal pictures. And then anybody can share a Dashawawa, half Dashhound, half Chihuahua. I imagine it's tiny, but thinks it's humongous. Am I correct, Archangel? Half bear pig. I've grown up with like working breed dogs. I've grown up with border collies, and we've had like German shepherds from Mr. Nerd. So we've only really grown up around big dogs, but every interaction I've ever had with one of the smaller dogs, it's like, yeah, I think I'm a Rottweiler. And you can't tell me any different. What is the doggo's name? I second that Discord idea. It says signed. I would like a giant cat mini just so I can paint it black. Because signed has a cat, a beautiful black cat called Nyx. Myself and Mr. Ned have 4 cats. Although one of them, I'm pretty sure, thinks he's a dog. Aye, he's wee pain in the ass. He goes berserk when mail comes through the letterbox. The amount of stuff he's destroyed, oh god, including Blu-ray steelbooks. Oh my goodness. He thinks he's doing a great job protecting you. Just protecting you from completely the wrong things. And how is he with people? Is he kind of like really cheery and happy around people, or is he just looking at everybody like, no, don't come near me, I don't trust you? A friend, a colleague of mine who has a Chihuahua, and something about that nature, like that dog is, I think, 11 or 12 years old. And she says the only reason why she's still going is because she's fueled by hatred. So I don't know about you, whether or not that's a personality trait of yours, or whether or not they're actually quite a sweet baby. Except for the destroying post part. Coming together rather nicely. Got this guy there for a moment whilst I decant some. I believe the devil invented the Chihuahua. The sign. The smaller the dog, the bigger the yap. Yeah, like I said, I think almost all of them think they're like Rottweilers or something bigger. They don't think they are the size they are at all. I remember when I was younger actually taking one of our collies on a walk and a Chihuahua ran up to them and just started barking. And the dog was just looking around very confused, like, what do I do with this thing? It's so small. Like, it wasn't sure whether or not to be intimidated or whether or not to just be confused. Just going in with some just plain Corax white now. And I'm just dragging that down his feet. So everyone, we have 4 cats, and 3 of the 4 of them are named after Final Fantasy characters. I think one of them has actually established that this is now my current nightly routine, so he's sat across from me asleep right now, which is very sweet. And then you have Gentle Giants, Great Danes who curl upon your lap even though they are twice your size. Says signed on Discord. Yep, 100%. They think they're small, but they don't understand that they are ginormous, and not only are they twice the size, you probably weigh more than you do as well. Darkwater email has dropped. The pre-order Saturday. Need to visit my Warhammer guide tomorrow. Good idea. Very good idea. Is one called Cloud? No. Because we thought, because he's the one that is actually looking like a cloud, because we have a ragdoll, we thought it'd be a little bit too on the nose to call him Cloud. So he is called Tidus. And he is regal. So we have Tidus, we have Riku, and we have Sid. The one who's sat across from me right now is Riku, and he's being a little angel at the minute. Oh, I said his name. Sorry, buddy. Did I wake you up? He did the cat thing of, did you want me? No Waka, no. We have a long list of names to get through. If one of them was going to be a girl, because at one point one of them, they were too young to know the gender, it was going to be Vivi. I know Vivi's technically a boy, but it's one of those names that works quite well. I wanted a Vivi, yeah. I'm going to drag this under his tail. Fun one said is pawsome. Oh dear. More dad jokes. Making sure I'm getting that white underneath his belly, because like I said, this guy needs belly rubs. Getting the anime iron was a pain in the ass. I'm not surprised. There we go. He's looking pretty wolfy. Alright, time to finish the bases, says Signed. I'm excited to see these. What I'm going to do is pop that one to the side to dry. I'm going to take this guy off his base for a moment. This is what he's looking like so far. Thank you. He'll be blended more, and then when I start adding some shade, and then obviously add some highlights, and when I do, the next step I'll do his nose, but I'm just going to make sure the paint's dry first before I move on to anything else with him. And that took me half an hour to paint, if that, for my little direwolf. As you can see, he's come together quite nicely. But what I'm going to do with this guy now is paint his base using the blues that I plan on using. Oh, after I drop him. And then, whilst he dries, because we'll leave that to dry overnight, we will then tomorrow come back and add snow to this guy's base. But for the blues, I'm going to use Lothern Blue, Aramon Blue, and Blue Horror. Do you paint eyes or do you just shade them? I do and I don't sometimes. Because his eyes are quite small and they are a bit squinty, I may paint those when I can get him really close to my face. So I may paint those off stream just because then I can get him really, really close to my face because I don't have the best eyesight. But it depends on the figure. Some figures, if their faces are too small, I just shade and that's enough. And it's kind of implied that he has eyelids or eyeballs somewhere in there. But let's go back on its stand for now. Yeah, his face is very, very squinty and scrunched up. So, I normally shade them, to be fair. I don't have the accuracy, to be honest. It completely depends on the figure, for me. On certain figures, I actually do like the ability to just paint their eyes white and not have to add pupils. Because pupils are the thing that get me. I can do the white, I just can't do the pupils. Because the minute I do that, they start looking in all different directions. It's essentially going to be a redo of my snow tutorial and how I did it, and with my lava base as well. And I'll do it on this stand so it can be seen better. So I'm going in with this is one of like our cheaper little paintbrushy ones. And I'm mixing, rather than 1 or 2 drops of water like I normally would do if I was doing paint on the figure, I'm adding quite a bit more to really dilute this. And then smudging this all over the base, because adding a bit of water to this will help when I add the next colours in a moment, because instead of letting each layer dry, I'm going to be adding each colour whilst it's still wet to make them bleed into each other. I want them to bleed into each other. Archangel, yes, same. If someone stands a distance from you, that they are the same size as the miniature, you would see their eyes. This is why some painters don't paint eyes. I agree. Because even when we went to Warhammer World, they had a whole section for like the Fellowship of the Ring, and even their Legolas was wonky-eyed when we went into the exhibit. So even some of the best painters that are literally on display in Warhammer World have wonky eyes. And sometimes your figure can look fantastic, and the minute you try and add eyes, they suddenly look very cursed. Now I'm going in with Lothern Blue. I'm just gonna kind of, as you can see, because it's still wet, it kind of bleeds into each other. Obviously this isn't a accurate snow base in the sense of, if it was, it would be mostly white. But I quite like doing the blue, personally. You can just see it just subtly bleeds in together. And then what I'll do is I'll go back in with that darker blue again. This is why I said like I have to paint this face and then basically just leave it for tonight, because this paint is so watery that it will take a few hours to dry. And despite the fact it's a painting stream, I'm not going to make you sit here and watch paint dry in that respect. Although that would be a very good test for this new battery thing. Just literally put it on stream for the entire night, a stream of just watching paint dry. I don't think many of you guys would interact with that though, or anybody for that matter. Gonna go in with a little bit of blue horror now, which is like almost like it's a almost white blue. One of my favourite ones to use. I told you I can do it, it's just time consuming. Best way to paint the eyes is with a liberal white blob from the start. Start your skin tones with a 000 brush, then gently work your way until the blob becomes a slit. Just shade over that and looks the part. I haven't tried that technique, so that's a good idea. All of the tips today, I like this. There we go. That's the base of our ice. As you can see, it's just essentially one giant ombre base. This little thing he's standing on, I'm going to more or less cover that quite liberally in ice and a tiny bit of brown. But I'll do that tomorrow when the base is dry. Let's pop him to one side for now because we're going to need this. Now to decide which one of these boys to paint next. I think I might go for my guy with a mine. The ice looks spot on, by the way. Thank you so much. This guy's got a very cool mohawk and a mine. I kind of want to go with him next, I think. I think I'll go with him. Trapper. Ooh. He's there, throwing him on the floor. He's running away from me. He's like, nope, I don't want to be painted. Leave me alone. In fact, I will wait a moment. Because I'm going to need some glue. Because his arm just came off. So I'll have to glue his arm back on. He ran away that badly. He did not want to be painted that much. His arm came off. Giving that to Mr. Nerd to fix for a moment for me. Oh dear.
Poor guy.
Poor guy, yeah. He's just trying to do his job and he's lost an arm.
She yeeted him to another dimension.
I didn't mean to. I'm just looking at a few of these whilst I decide. This guy's got some dreadlocks that are pretty cool.
Managed to operate fast. Amputation.
The arm wasn't amputated long enough. They were able to reattach the arm. Thank you, Mr. Nerd.
Might have nerve damage.
He just might have nerve damage.
The nerve of it.
Oh god, not the dad jokes. I think I should make him a ginger. Says signed with blood. Maybe you can set up another camera whilst you paint something else. The surgery was a success. It was. His arm's been able to be reattached. He kind of has The only difference is there's part of me that obviously wants to make him ginger, but then the other half of me wants to paint him like Hades from Hercules because of that mohawk, because it looks like fire. But I will resist. I'm just leaving him to dry for an extra minute just to make sure his arm's completely dry before I start painting him. I will gently try and put him back in the holder. There we go. Safe and sound. Nice and snug. And I'll pop these three off to one side for now. They all look really, really cool though. They've all got very cool hairstyles. Buy a mohawk. Yeah, it'll just have to be a ginger mohawk. A ginger and blonde mohawk, maybe. Okay. Just having a little assessment of how he looks. Okay, I'm going to start with some... well, the blue. Start with the blue since it is the base of everything. So we're going to mix rust grey. And where did it go? Where did I put it? Thunderhawk blue. To begin with. I've painted one Space Wolf and it's from my Hounds of Morcal box. I'll put it on your Twitter if you have one. We do once we've set up a Discord, because I think that's I'm going to make that a priority as well, is setting up a Discord for this channel, just because I think in this kind of community you kind of need one. In the meantime, we do also have one called Rothmer Gaming, which is Mr. Nerds. So if you want to send anything across there, you can always look in his description. He has his Discord there and send it through there as well. Until we have one set up. Just mixing up those two blues. Yeah, they're either just nerdy miniatures or nerdy minis. So it was the exact same logo as our YouTube though. So on his shoulder he actually has a little lion emblem. This guy, he's got quite a few little emblems actually. Actually, words. So I'm going to paint all of his emblems in... what do you guys think? Should I do silver or gold? On his shoulder he has a little lion here. Not a lion, a wolf. Definitely a wolf. I've never done Discord. I have a wee peek at signing up for yours. Gold says signed for the emblems. Gold for sure. I think I do gold for the emblem. And then I'll paint majority of the mine in with silver and maybe some yellow. You two are the closest I've got to Warhammer community. Sad, innit? I don't think so. Like, that's one of the main reasons why we started this, because for us, we had a couple people that we went to play with in our local store, which sounds so such big kids. We went to our local store, hammer to play, like we're taking them to a playground. But yeah, it was our way of interacting with the community. And some of those people we see a couple times a month, and then other times we don't see them at all, because it depends on what they're up to. So in a way, this is our way of interacting with the community as well, so it is really nice. Are you going to join me to paint, Mr. Nerd, on the other side of the table? He's going to paint. So Mr. Nerd is going to be working on some of his Tau, I think. Archangel Small beginnings can lead to great things, says Signed on Discord. I think that's a really nice way of looking at it, actually. Really lovely way of looking at it. I've also just realised this guy has an axe. I like him a lot.
Good question.
He's not going to ask me a question. Oh, goodness. Sign says, I have a Warhammer club where I go every Thursday. That's actually really nice. Ours is on Fridays. Like 2 Fridays a month. We just go and play games and talk shop, basically. Allows us to be nerds with other people. Could you show a zoom in on his face? So, let's see if it focuses at all with my hand. No, it does not. The lighting isn't the best because this guy is basically clean shaven. A little mohawk on his head. And this guy's face. If it can get to focus again. Nope. Is a little blonde beard. There we go. And just zoom back out. I think that's okay. Yeah. I think that's back to how it was before. The more I paint this colour, the more I'm liking it. Sign says, I heard it, that dad joke, before Rothmer even said it. Cycle looks good. Thank you. Yeah, because this guy's got so much more detail in him. I've got a few options. I'm going to be mixing these main colours and then I'm going to go in with, I think, a bit more of the fang this time. I've got to ask, which chapter are you both loyal to, or are you both dirty heretics? Mr. Nerd? Which chapter are you loyal to? What was that? He's gone back over to his desk and it's like on the side where I've got a headphone. I'm like, what? Death Guard. The Smell Boys. I mean, I'm a Dark Angel, so I'm loyal to the Emperor. Even if he isn't the best. Salamanders into the fire, says Signed with Blood. And I think you mentioned before, actually, you're into your Ultramarines, aren't you? You like your Rabute Gulliman and his boys. Death Guard, heretic. There's got to be at least one. Oh, aye, Big Bobby, that's the one. Big Bobby G. think like with mine, he's one of those characters people are like, I like him. He's just quiet. Doesn't really do much in regards to talking to people. So, yeah, more or less. Little drink break. What about you, Ballistic? Gang is gonna mix up some fang now. So I'm gonna apply that to his hand armor, I think. I absolutely do love this colour. My first ever introduction to any 40k was Tyranids and Space Wolves. So that's where my 40k origins began. So maybe that's why I've got a little bit of a soft spot for the Space Wolves. Can thank my dad for that one. Absolutely love the Krieg as well. If I had to go heretic, I'd say Thousand Suns or Emperor's Children. Colour shift paint for either would be mwah, chef's kiss. I agree, actually. Emperor's Children have got some really, really good pieces. I did like the Emperor's Children quite a lot, actually. With good old Fulgrim. Not good old Fulgrim, but you know what I mean. Not to mention the figure of Fulgrim looks really cool. But that's what happens when you try to be too perfect. It goes wrong. I have some Emperor's Children says signed with blood. I just have one. I have one from my mini of the month. I painted him in pretty traditional Emperor's Children colours. And he was really enjoyable to paint. I've avoided Warhammer most of my life as I knew how involved I was and I have too many hobbies as it is. However, yeah, my old man visited pretty recently. And he saw the painting and like the quality we've been producing after a year. And he was just like, yeah, I wasn't that good after a year. That's impressive. I have some Emperor's Children. I've got 2 of the minis of the month and the Lord extra in a box of Tormentors. I've painted, so I think the mini of the month was a Tormentor, if I remember correctly. I think that's what I've got. Says signed. My first taste was as a boy when me and my mates played Space Crusade, condensed board game version of Warhammer. That's where the taste for it began. But then you had to push it back. Do you have any more arty hobbies, Art Ginger? You were saying earlier on you're quite creative. Sign says, I don't play, so I don't follow the rules. There is no rules to be followed. And that's the thing about the community now that I really, really like is people are going to paint figures like however they want. So like the other day, I don't know if anybody on here has ever watched that and Hero Quest. Space Crusade was basically Hero Quest but Warhammer. Oh. If anybody here has ever watched Death Note, the anime, but there's a creature in that called Ryuk, a Shinigami, and there's a Daemon Prince who visually looks a lot like him in Age of Sigmar, and I've told Mr. Nerd if he ever gets that and doesn't paint him to look like Ryuk, then that's a problem. We have an issue. That's one of the perks of the hobby now. You can paint things however you like. Not that you couldn't always do that, but it's a bit more common for people to paint it how they like now. Yeah, I can draw. I collect prop replicas of prop replicas and comic books. I want to be a prop builder, but made an art of it. My kid is following the path I made. Quite proud. That is really, really nice to hear, though, Archangel. Obviously, you've been good enough influence on him to want to go down that path. But it's nice to see people wanting to get into the creative side of things more. There is a woman on Facebook who paints Warhammer super girly, says signed. I think I know who you're talking about. I'm pretty sure that's where I got my inspiration for my Sailor Moon Marines. What kind of prop replicas do you collect? Yeah, diamonds, bows, glitter, the whole kit and caboodle. Says signed. I think as you should. I'm gonna pick up some Avalanche Sunset now. In fact, I might try that pink one you were talking about. Just quickly grab a pink paint. My paints are right next to me, so I'm not going far. Jesus, you're skiing that. I want to do a Celestian mobile, says signed with blood. Just take a Land Raider or tank or whatever and bedazzle the everlasting hell out of it. Now that would be fun. I want to give it a little go, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of, as we were talking about Emperor's Children, a little bit of Emperor's Children, and we're going to apply that to one of these little elbow patches. I mean, he's already a bit more colourful than the others anyway, so why not give it a go? I'm a Ghostbusters Die Hard, so I've pretty much got everything Hobbies, Samaritan, Sideshow Terminator, Endo Skull, Freddy Krueger, etc. Go to cons and get them signed too. That's really cool. It's even better then that your kiddo's actually into the same hobby. And obviously looking to make it into a career rather than a hobby, which is even better. Little pink shoulder, elbow piece there. Go over that with some Avaland afterwards. We'll mix it with some, where is it? We'll go with Screaming Skull over the top of that, and then some Avaland over the top of that. Oh yeah, going pink. If you have Contrast Imperial Fist, watch magic happen. I don't think we actually have Contrast Imperial Fist, but so next time we go to the shops to go pick up any paints, we'll be adding that to our list. I think the closest yellow we have is Bad Moon Yellow, which is this one. So that one could be good as well. So we'll try that one. If you're using a base or layer paint yellow, hit it with Lamium medium to water it down. It will need to be quite opaque. Okay. Okay, back in on his rest of his armor now. Really liking these figures a lot. It's having a feel of my camera, and the camera's not even overheating or anything, so we've done very well so far. If you got time tonight, find Lash Hammer. She did a shirt. She did a short on it. Really worked a treat. Okay. Definitely gonna have to check her out, I think. Sounds like she'll be another fountain of knowledge. Down Northumberland Way, there's a big community there. Oh. It's nice to kind of see communities kind of growing. When we went to Warhammer, not last time, the time before, there was like a little community outing of them. Group of people from the same other friend group or community all out together at Warhammer World. It was really nice to see. Need to run painting around the feet. Got Mr. Nerd trying to find all of his paints now. Going back in with the fang on his feet as well here. Definitely helpful having this little stand. Because the amount of angles I have to bend this character into to get to the parts I need to get to. I'd love to go there, but Mrs. is not into it. It's repellent for her, despite the fact that she rits her brain on shows. She rots her brain on shows like Real Housewives, and that one where, the one where what are you got? Below Deck. Different vices for different people, I suppose. That's it. Yep. Let's be honest though, with that show, sorry I've got Richmond sausage fingers today, that's okay. I know what you're trying to say, you're all good. be honest, the way you're typing is normally how I talk sometimes. There's been a few times where I'm just like, what am I trying to say? So, I understand perfectly. Apologies, had to sneeze there. I'm sounding less like death than I did at the beginning of the week, so I am slowly getting better. Bit too much water came out on that one, just gonna blot that off. And try again. That's better. I think it's very possible that after today's stream, because I do still have some scenery to paint before tomorrow, I'm probably going to be looking at shorts and stuff of the of Last Hammer. Just found a flyer. You guys heard of Merlin Miniatures? They buy you guys grey piles of shame or painted minis. You need to check them out for missing minis when you've chosen building, when you choose building one or the other. Ooh. We'll have to have a look at that. That actually sounds like it could be really helpful. Mix up some more of this blue now. Yeah, her stuff's great. She's an Age of Sigmar girl. I like that. Mr. Nerd just very kindly got me a new piece of kitchen roll so I can block my paints, and then the cat decided to have a go at it first. So, it's come to me damaged. Joys of owning cats. Yeah, when we first were getting into this, Mr. Neb was like giving me the options, like we can do 40k or we could do fantasy. He's like, I think you'll like fantasy more. But at least for an introduction, because I'm into like my fantasy shows and books and all that kind of stuff. So it was a good choice, but I do also like the 40k stuff. Science is good to hear. I was sick twice in a row, first with COVID and then the common cold. Not pleasant. Mine was just a cold to begin with, and then it was just residual, like a sinusy thing. But I'm getting better now. So you guys, when they hear my voice, don't have to hear me sounding like death for now. So that's good. That's an improvement. There we go, some more of that blue mixed up. Are you feeling better now, signed, after having COVID and the cold? Okay, that's just bad luck having both, one after the other. I adore Lord of the Rings. My workmate Red got me to watch Game of Thrones from day one. Left a rancid taste in my mouth that final season, along with how poor Witcher was. Bit bummed out with the fantasy, to be honest. I understand that, 100%. Because by the time it got to like that last season, season 8, like they just completely gave up. They just knew it was coming to an end, and obviously there was no material for them to work with yet, because obviously he was still writing. They just decided to take matters into their own hands and then did a terrible job of it. With Game of Thrones especially. Because one of those things where it's bad that after a show ended, everyone was like, remember, this isn't actually like lore accurate because this has not been written yet. This is just what they did. Signed, I feel so much better. I worked through both of them and was so tired. I had a week off and that did a lot. I'm glad to hear you're doing better, because that sounds pretty horrific. Yeah, obviously we're really big into our Lord of the Rings, and we love Lord of the Rings, we love our Star Wars, we love all that kind of stuff. It's a very nerdy household. I might try going over that pink now with Bad Moon Yellow and see if I like it. My mate was hard into the books, and with so much left out like Azor Eye, Chosen One, and his Flaming Sword, etc. Sad since George can't be. I was finishing them when that's what made him famous. Yeah. I get that. Especially over the time. I understand writing books takes time, but when you've already got the base of the characters written and the source material, it's not like you're starting a whole new series from scratch. So that's the frustrating part, I think, especially about George. I think this yellow might be a bit too vibrant for what I want it for. So I may have to go over it in the end with our Avaland. But then next time we go and pick up paints, we'll pick up Imperial Fist. I've added it to my shopping list. Has been 4 years of his book and kept going sidetracked with TV shows nobody cares about. Yeah. Well, that's it for him, isn't it? It's just more money to line his pocket without him having to actually do the work. I think what I'll do is I'll go over those in the end with Avaland, but next time we go out I will pick up the Imperial Fist one. Because that is a lot more... That's closer in colour to Avaland anyway. To be honest, every time I read something or hear something about George R. R. Martin, it's like, oh, there are so many more shows in the running. I'm like, okay, just finish a book. Finish your books and you'll probably have a more engaged audience because there's content to actually make more shows on in the future. Because at this point in time, he's going to run out of content before he runs out of anything else. And The Witcher had like a lot of potential. Amazon has AOS. If this 40k show hits hard, they'll go straight into that and they'll have Star Wars, Kia and Game of Thrones palette cleanser under one roof. Yeah. The thing is, especially with this franchise, there is so many options. And you can do entire series on different sections and there's a lot. There is a lot of wiggle room when it comes to being creative, when it comes to Warhammer. There is now a cat under the table. Hopefully he stays under and not on top. A Gortrick and Felix show would be awesome. It would be really awesome, actually. Have you watched any of the Rings of Power, Archangel? If they do Age of Sigmar and 40k rights, they'll have a TV series for decades. Yeah, they will, signed. If they do it right, they really, really could have a very long path for that and make them a lot of money. If you can hear any banging or rustling, the cat's suddenly got a bit of a zoomies head on under the table and he decided to start attacking Mr. Nerd's feet and fingers. But he's in basically a giant donut bed thing and it just makes a lot of noise when he's in there. Yeah, I think even as like fans from an outside perspective, anything looking in on fantasy, if the content is there, use it, and you've got the rights to do so, use it. If you're in a position where you don't have the rights to certain things yet, and you start making up characters or whatever to kind of fill holes like they did with Rings of Power, then I don't really think people can get too mad about it, in my opinion, because they're not trying to keep lore accurate because there is no lore for them to follow in that respect. So I'm at the room where Star Wars has endured for 4 decades. Just think of the volume of stories that can be gleaned from 40k. Exactly. It's just there. The content is there. I was saying before on a previous stream, as I do lore on my other channel, I get some pretty intense comments sometimes from people who don't like the fact that my view on a lot of stuff doesn't match their view. So especially on stuff like Rings of Power. Like I did one video on the character of Adar from Rings of Power, and it got a lot of attention. But most of the comments were people just slating it because, again, it wasn't lore accurate. But there isn't really any lore to follow because he is a made-up character. So when people are like getting mad about it, I'm like, why? It doesn't concern you for this character to not be a part of it. He's just there. He's a product filler. He's there to take up some space and then do his own thing. Then there's the volume of merch. The helmets have already started with Titus and now a Dark Angels one up for pre-order. Which I may or may not, we may or may not have pre-ordered. By we, I mean Mr. Nerd. showed me it the other day. I went, "It's your Christmas present." We've got a bunch of Star Wars Lego helmets on display in our house. Like I said, it's just, you walk into our home and it's just, yeah, these people are nerds. It's very obvious from the get-go as soon as you walk into our house. I didn't watch Rings of Power. It wasn't Tolkien, so I wasn't interested. Amazon fan fiction. That's exactly my opinion on it. That's exactly my opinion. It's entirely something that they didn't have the rights to all the characters. So when people get really upset about it, it's like, well, I don't see the point of people getting so worked up about it. End of the day, it's a TV show. I pre-ordered the Titus one. Yeah, the helmet also came with there's an option to have the helmet and the t-shirt. And Mr. Nerd has very graciously ordered me both the t-shirt and the helmet. I did find two other fellow nerds at work today though. A couple came in and they were wearing a Soulblight Gravelords t-shirt and a Nighthorn jumper. So that was quite cool to see. My missus despairs when another Star Wars Black Series helmet comes to the door. Rings of Power is an abomination if you're trying to compare it to Tolkien lore. In my opinion, if you want to, from the outside perspective of someone watching in who may not be into it because they like Tolkien, because some people aren't into Tolkien itself, then, it serves that purpose. Signed over on Discord, she just sent me some photos of her Nighthorn. And they look fantastic. I have to ask you questions about how you'd certain things later. When it comes to access as well to Tolkien's work, Tolkien's estate is one of the most guarded pieces. It is so heavily guarded. Getting the rights to things is so difficult. That's why it can take years for pieces to come out. It can exist if it wants, but I'm not interested in it. Tolkien would have never signed off on it if he was alive, in pursuit of his work, to be honest. I'm a purist for his work, to be fair. I understand that. And that's why when it came to Rings of Power stuff, I was like, his characters, the ones that Tolkien actually wrote and we have lore for, I understand the anger towards those. But when it's Amazon characters made up by Amazon with nothing to base off, for those, I'm like, yeah, they're Amazon's own creation. They can do their own thing. That's my 2 cents on that, personally. And that's more or less what I said in my videos. This character is not a Tolkien character, he's an Amazon character. Just picking out some Retributor armor now. If Big Handsome Henry gets the first season off to a flyer, Star Wars and Star Trek, I grew up with and love them both, are gonna be buried. Yeah, I mean, I think if it's in safe hands with anybody. Hey Summit, how are you? The paint is going good, Summit. We've got our base on this guy now, which is drying. It's actually almost dry. Didn't take as long to dry as I thought. And we've started our base for our little dire wolf. And we've started this guy, who I'm going to give a flame mohawk to. Yeah, I mean, if the 40k series was in the hands of anybody else, we'd probably have reason to be concerned. But because it's Henry Cavill, and he is such an avid lover of what it is, I don't think we have that much to worry about in that regard, because I don't think he'll sacrifice... I mean, it's one of the main reasons why he left The Witcher, because they wanted him to do certain things that he didn't feel comfortable doing, that would kind of go against the law and what he knew. So I don't think he'll let them go too astray. So I think we, like, it's one of those shows where I'd rather he take as much time as he needs to produce something great. Because I think the fans will thank him for that. So to go with some Avaland Sunset, sorry. Change my mind, so to base everything with... Do my base colours first, and then I'll go with my gold. How is building going, Summit? I really hope it keeps its British birthright. It's an IP that can have folk from every walk of life, but I want the best of British in it. Question is, who, actor-wise, would you want in it? Aside from obviously Henry. Are there any other actors or big names that you want, that you would be really eager to see? Evening Summit, says Archangel. It's very nice. I had 6 flags in my box because I used 3 for a Halloween competition last year. 1 died because I tried kit bashing it didn't work. I used good leaves on the bases. Like I said, if you over on our, like, we'll have to set up a Discord. We'll have to, because some of the photos that I've just received from Signed of her Nighthorn are incredible. What I will probably do is finish the base on this guy tonight, and then we'll call it a night on the stream. I mean, that's still going to be at least probably another hour, at least. It's about 9:30, 10ish. by the time we finish tonight. Just mixing up some more of my blue mix. So Rust Grey and Thunderhawk Blue. So it says fine, got my Eternals, blue tacked with some cardboard to spray tomorrow. Fantastic. And then the painting begins, Summit. We'll have to wait and see how long it takes for you to accumulate a pile of grey shame. I can't see past Tilda Swinton as Saint Keltine or Big Idris Elba as Charlton, Henry as Titus. I think they have it. They have to be in it for, as SM2 brought so many new eyes to the IP. To be honest, that's really good ideas actually. Tilda Swinton would actually be fantastic in that. She's got the right look for it, as well as the voice. The IP can literally offer huge stars, even small icon roles. Think Darth Maul style. Yeah. This could be one of those shows where we could have some stars obviously we've never seen before, only seen in very small quantities. And really give them a platform to show their full potential and show what they're capable of. Not to mention that when it comes to researching the role, if people are unsure or unfamiliar, there's so much source material for them to go off of that it should be hard to not do a good job. Right, gonna grab some yellow and put it onto the shoulder panels of his jetpack or jump pack. I think Felicity Jones would do a great job as a battle sister or Guardian as well. She was great in Rogue One, ironically Disney's best Star Wars film. Yeah, I actually agree with that one, yeah. But she would be really, really good. Stephen Lang as the lion. Ooh. I mean, yeah, that's actually a very good match for Lion. Look, whoever they cast as any Primarchs, they're going to have to be pretty impressive. They have to be. Not only just in the sense of the casting choice as far as characters, because, you know, the characters are important, but just physicality. If you're going to play a Primarch, you're going to have to be built for it. So whoever they cast, they better be ready to put in the work to look the part. This is how he's coming together so far. Looking pretty good. I think Primarchs are difficult as they will have to span long period. They have to span long periods, especially if they do Horus Heresy. Probably de-aging CGI. Yeah. Whoever they cast either has to be one of these actors who looks more or less immortal constantly, never looks like they change. Or yeah, they'll have to do de-aging CGI. I would think Primarchs would be one of the hardest to cast. Especially for like certain Primarchs, they'll probably have to do flashbacks. Because obviously, by the time we get to 40k time, certain Primarchs are not there, but there are obviously other characters or other Primarchs that have been quite instrumental in them being the way they are. And that could be like a good little shoe note in, like do these little flashback scenes.
Who would be Horus?
Who would be Horus? Ooh. Who would be Sanguinius? Who would be Space Jesus? I like the idea of him just being... He has to be bold, though, to be Horus. Or at least have, like, the army grade buzzed cut or something. I think. I see 40k casting through the same eyes as Lord of the Rings. When Viggo Orlando got cast, I was really, and I had it in my head, too fitted due to books, but now can only see Viggo. Horace, Tom Hardy. He could be quite good, actually.
The guy plays Reacher.
Hmm?
The guy plays Reacher.
The guy plays Reacher. I mean, he's not British, but he would be quite good in that, actually. He's got the build for a Primarch, isn't he? And negative, he runs like an ape. To be honest, in a suit of armour, that will actually work. Someone else who's been recommended potentially for Horus is an actor called Brett Dalton, who played a character in, I don't know if any of you guys watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He played like one of the bad guys in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's an American, but physicality-wise, face-wise, could be quite a good Horus. Face-wise? Words are not my strong suit today. But he could be quite a good Horus. It's only an answer for Space Jesus, though. Who would make good Space Jesus? An actor who's perfectly fine being known forever for the rest of their career as Space Jesus.
Ego.
Ego. No, he will never be anything other than Aragorn. Sorry, got interrupted. Who's the Space User Space King? So Sanguinius. So who would play Sanguinius? Leader of the Blood Angels. Someone recommended Alexander Skarsgård for Sanguinius.
Not Bill
Skarsgård, he's quite scary.
Yeah, you guys want to float?
No, we don't need Pennywise as Sanguinius. Thank you very much. Actually,
It's a space tower.
with his name, Blade Runner sequel, Fall Guy, can't get his name. I've got my phone next to me and I'm just researching like what some of the top fan casts and these some of the people that people want to see would be Alexander Skarsgård. But then other ones I recommended are Michael Fassbender or
Too fast.
Cillian Murphy for Sanguinius. To be honest, Cillian Murphy as Sanguinius could be pretty good, but the thing is, it's the hair for me. I picture Sanguinius with his long flowing locks, very angelic. I'm not sure Cillian Murphy could pull off angelic long locks. He might look a little bit stupid. Michael Fassbender I could see pulling off long hair. Of course, he will always be Magneto. I'd give Cillian the Emperor role. Ooh. Is that Ian McKellen the Emperor role? He might be a little bit old.
The Emperor's not?
Not, to be honest, no, he's supposed to be more or less immortally looking the same.
Yes, say McKellar's never aged.
Yeah, but that's why we've always known him as old. Yeah, I'm liking the sound of actually Fassbender, Sanguinius. That would be my casting. And again, if we're going with Best of British, he's there. Yeah, I'd go Ryan Gosling for Sanguinius. He has the look.
We need Adam Sandler to play something.
Adam Sandler to play something. Best of British with Adam Sandler. Just cause. Adam Sandler is Adam Sandler.
Just plays himself.
Just plays Adam Sandler in a suit of armour. In a suit of power armour. It's the one bit of comedic relief in 40k.
The Ghoul in Fallout.
The Ghoul. Ooh.
Is it Simon Bobbin? Michael Bobbin?
No, I know exactly who you're on about though. He'd be fantastic.
He's a good actor.
His new one looks good. Project Hail Mary. Ooh. I'd have to have a look at that.
You play a rogue trader.
Walton Goggins, who plays the Ghoul in Fallout. He would be good, actually. The Primarchs are going to have to be naturally tall and buff. Science said Vin Diesel. Sam Hagen as Sanguinius. That's actually a very good choice there. Very good choice. Adam Sandler could be a malfunctioning servitor.
Is that the role he plays in every film anyway?
Pretty much. Those who don't know, Sam Hagen is known best for Outlander. And he has the long hair in that. He has long swishy hair. Good Sanguinius? Mr. Nerd? He could be a good Sanguinius. I think that's a very good shout. Signed. Very good shout indeed. And again, he's like got that more buff. What will they do with orcs? Are they really going to give them all thick London accents and rhyming slang? They would have to do it like Predator Badlands. Ooh, Diesel as Horus. San Ewan. Yeah, it's probably how his surname is pronounced. It's Scottish. Some of the pronunciations when it comes to Scottish names are like, they're fantastic, but I'm like, how do I say you? Anything with Gaelic, like Gaelic or Gaelic kind of undertones. Sean Bean as Gazgul Thraka.
I don't think he's got twang.
Sean Bean would be a good role in there somewhere, though. He'd be a good emperor.
No.
No?
He'd be terrible. He'll die in the first episode.
He's supposed to die. Hugon. Ah. Sam Hugon. There we go. Thank you, Archangel, our resident Scott. It kind of helps with our pronunciation when they're terrible. But he'd be good. You know, a whole fan cast. We have to send it off to Henry. Find an email address or something and send it off to him by the end of the night. Go, these are people we think you should look at. If you haven't...
We've solved it.
We've solved the problem.
I will be Horace.
Talking you, Mr. Nerd, or me? 5'2" me. Who would be Conrad Kurz?
Isn't there an actor called Conrad? Just called Conrad.
Someone suggested Robert Pattinson for that one. He's good at playing the moody character. It's the only character he can play. Grant is the only character I've seen him play. Is the moody character. Let's not put glitter on cars, shall we? No. When Henry comes to call H at Comic-Con with Warhammer, I genuinely think this is the start of something monstrous like Star Wars was. Tapper is coming along nicely. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, Trapper. He's getting there. We move on to some metallics and browns in a minute, and then his skin and his hair, and then we'll call it that for tonight. So in total today we will have, and then what I'll do, I'm hoping this will be dry by then. It's nearly dry. The base is very nearly dry on this one. There's just a couple spots where it's still slightly tacky, I think. Oh no, might be okay. In that case then, just whilst I let this guy dry, I'll cover the base of this in hard coat whilst we wait. So I'm not worried too much about the edge. I will do the edge after. But I'm going in with technical hard coat for this. Kind of make the ice look extra shiny. Well, make it look ice, to be honest. So it goes on like a glue consistency, and then it dries clear. So very much like PVA glue, except instead of going matte, it stays shiny. Looking forward to getting to play with some snow on this guy tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Warcry. What am I talking about?
Fall of a took.
Fall of a took. Making sure this layer is quite thick. I'd rather it give it longer to dry, which now it definitely will, and have it look more icy. There we go. So that will be left to dry. That will then go nice and clear and shiny when that's done.
We're going for very different looks so far. Yeah.
Two very different looks. Are you going for like more of a fiery thing, Mr. Nerd? Do you want me to show you the little piece that you've done so far? I've got a tiny spatula from the lab in work for basting. Like that. Never done ice though. This is what Mr. Nerd has done so far for his towel. Colour scheme very different, but very cool. Very interested to see what this looks like. Mr. Nerd says it's going to be cell shaded like a comic book. So that'll be interesting. Like me, he has 7 characters. How many do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 I've got a tiny spatula from the lab from work basting, but never done ice though. We've used, for ice in the past, I've used resin. Towel dry from Dead Silence, drowned from Dead Silence. Yes. It's coming together rather nicely. So next I'm going to move on to the browns, the metallics. In fact, I'll do his skin first, because I'm not going to touch his face now for the rest of the night. Same as yesterday, I'm using Bugman's Glow for his face. Time to make him look a little touch sunburnt. Given Mr. Nadir is a dirty heretic of the plague god, does the Darkwater box not interest him? No?
We already have a doom. That's the initial playset with Darkwater.
Yeah.
One request. The new one. Yes, we'll begin it.
We will be. There you go.
Yeah, we are getting Darkwater. Yeah, so we'll begin, and we can probably play it on stream, to be quite honest. I don't like this first game. Stop.
You're not liking it? Oh no. Back to the drawing board. Yeah, we will be pre-ordering it. We actually mentioned it when we went in the other day. Like, when's the pre-order coming out for this? So, and the manager did suggest it. Well, probably not long. He did say probably maximum a couple of weeks. And that seems to be pretty accurate. We were saying, like, the option really should be given for, customers, because everything goes online at 10 o'clock at the exact same time, 10 a.m. for in-store and online. There should be separate times to actually give more people the opportunity to actually purchase stuff. The scalpers have been out in force for it. Speak of your LGS at GW call on Wednesdays for the store's pre-orders for the coming Saturday. Sad, he does not have gloves on. I will paint his hands. Yeah, didn't get sent a single box this time. Because like, normally we get 2 or 3 copies, and then this time they got sent nada. Yeah, don't try pre-order online. Scalpers can scoop him in seconds with the bots, like they did yesterday with Ash's book. Sold out in 20 seconds. There's no chance of getting it. Back in with the Fang. Wait, what is that? How fast it's sold out thanks to scalpers? Signs asked on Discord. I just got the normal copy, it says signed. Just going in around the jump pack now. There we go. Right, now I'm going to go in with... The scalps are so annoying, makes the hobby difficult at times. With Cash Chow Flesh now, I'm going to go in and do all of his satchels and any of his belts. And then it's just our metallics left. And his hair, which I still need to find the right orange for. It's like those Pokemon card scalpers, says signed. We were saying, like, just yesterday when we went in to also pick up this kit, Mr. Neb was like immediately looking online when we thought we weren't going to get our hands on it, and we got it for £67.50, and it was online in some cases for like £160. People were trying to sell it for, because people were obviously buying it just to resell. It sickens me, but as the fans don't get the product, it's purely tourists out for profiting. I would buy 2 boxes as I'm just denying. I wouldn't buy 2 boxes as I'm just denying a fellow fan a box. When we need more players. Yeah, Dead Silence cost me 105 because I slept for pre-orders. Because I slept in for pre-orders. Yeah, it is a shame because it's a collectible hobby. Like, whether you're playing it for the game or just for the figures or whatever, it's a collectible hobby. And like, if I'm paying a larger sum for something, it's because I'm paying for work something put into something. Like, if someone's made a sculpture or a piece of art or painted something, paying more for a figure or a box in that respect would be slightly different. But it's just because people are like, okay, now I want to make an X amount % profit on this. And because people are obviously desperate for it, fans are desperate because they want it, they are willing to spend the money. Because they want the product that badly.
We agree, signed.
We agree, signed. Signed just sent a comment that I'm not going to say on stream in case I get a bit of a heat for it, but I agree. I'm an injection molder. I know how a lot of it works. Guild Wars business models is FOMO. It's an egregious method that takes this out of customer base. I think, like, genuinely, we've only got so lucky with what we've managed to get our hands on because of the fact we've we're friendly with the managers. If we weren't friendly with the managers, there was absolutely no chance we would have got all the things we've managed to secure. Absolutely no chance at all. I have no problem with missing things. It's the launches that come out and don't interest me. It's fine. It says signed. It's a shame because it's like the product's there, the interest is there. But people will, you know, try and get away with just about anything and everything they can. To make more money. Right, moving on to the metallics now, going back in with lead belcher. The Kill Team sets and Darkwater event boxes. The tools that make these sets will be in the injection modular, the DMAG, for a short time before they're swapped out again, hence why it's one and done. Swapping the tool out is an involved process as it's 310 kilograms. Wow. It's quite an intense process though, Archangel. I'll have a couple bites. So Mr. Ned is keeping me fed. Because we actually haven't had dinner yet. Sorry, just having something to eat. You guys didn't need to hear me chewing. There's grenades on his chest, so I'm going to paint those silver. I was having, it's referred to as like an apple crown. It's basically like a strudel. Just a little snack or something like that, because once we're done here, we'll have actual dinner, which is quite late for us, but it's dull as bud, but Hasbro, Mattel, Lego, Games Workshop, and My Place all use the same machine. Wow. Yeah, it's like a little toasted apple strudel thing. A little pastry. And then for dinner, we're going to have, I don't know, actually no. We're going to have a roast, but might be a bit late for us or something. I'll decide when I'm done. Maybe some Chinese. Roasted this sour, maybe some Chinese, sign says. Call out for a Chinese, job done, says Archangel. You didn't take much convincing there, Mr. Nerd.
They twisted my arm.
They twisted your arm, did they? Oh dear. Whatever will you do? Order Chinese. Yeah, that is the answer. Science says, yes, I have no regrets. This is the thing though, because it is a Sunday night, there's going to be only certain places that are going to be open. And from what I can see, it's not very many Chinese places, but it's lots of Indian places, so it might have to be an Indian rather than a Chinese. Beef curry, fried rice, crackers, mini spring rolls. Oof, bring it on. That does sound really good.
We do have an Indian restaurant which does the best burgers and the best...
Yeah, an Indian restaurant that does burgers sounds very strange, but it is phenomenal. They do burgers, they do kebabs, they do Indians, they do Indian food, they do the lot. It is...
They do naan-bread pizzas.
Naan-bread pizzas. And when I say portion-wise, they are very generous. Butter chicken tikka it is then. When I say portion-wise, they do massive portions. Like, you can see the size of this board. It's basically, they will do a pizza box filled with burgers, fries, shish kebab meat or anything like that you'd want. They do all sorts. Bear with me. Oof, a naan bread pizza. I'd give that a go. We did, and it is very, very good. Speaking of which, bear with 1 second. We're actually going to go ahead and order our dinner, because otherwise, by the time I'm done streaming, it will be closed. I think I actually might go for a tikka naan pizza instead of an Indian. Because now you guys have convinced me. It sounds like a great idea.
Half a dollar. No.
Okie dokie.
And then we can get a side, we can share some chickens.
Sorry about that, guys. The music stopped as well then. You were just watching on in silence for a moment there. My headphone died. Thank you for being patient there with us guys. Sorry, we just had to order our food. Okay, anyway, back on with the painting now. Now that the food order is sorted, I have gone for one of those naan pizzas. Excuse me. I'm going to cover the majority of this in the silver, and then I can go in after and add little details. Yeah, I think I'll go till 10, guys, and then I'll call it for the night. It's another 20 minutes. That sounds pretty horrific. Ordering something like a 16-inch pizza, it was a trucker's steering wheel, ate about 4 slices and was burst. To be honest, it sounds amazing, but again, like it's that eyes bigger than the stomach thing, isn't it? Need a little bit more lead belcher. Yeah, it's 11 PM there for you, signed. Today is going to be quite a late night for us both, I think. Because we'll have our dinner. And then I'm going to just make sure the scenery we need for tomorrow is painted, but I'll probably do that during the day as well tomorrow. Still need to do some washing, Zion said. I just need to put the bin up. That's my job for tonight. It's my next job after this is to go and put the bin up. So that can be taken tomorrow. The joys. The mundane joys of life. It's making sure I'm painting the back of the mine he's got in his hand here, and then I'm going to paint the cord that he's got on his back here, because it's not cord, it looks like it's wire of some description. I'll be up sharpish to go to my LGS and pay for my Darkwater box. I'm first in the queue, thankfully. That is very, very good. Here we go. He's gonna apply a little bit of gold to his belt. And then it's just his hair. Actually, he's got a little bit of metal around his face. I'll do that as well. Using lead belcher. I will say this guy is very, very cool. Right guys, it's been a pleasure. I need to go to walk my doggo, etc. I work dark shifts, so I won't see your midweek streams. Definitely weekend though. Enjoy your Indian and watch Project Hail Mary trailer. Absolutely will. The next time we stream will obviously be Monday for Warcry. And then I will be probably streaming again on Friday because I'm back at work as normal this week. So might catch you Friday night. If not, we'll catch you on the weekend streams. So have a lovely night, Arch. We'll see you again soon. Just gonna make a little touch of that Kachan brown again. See you later, Arch. That's the bombs on his chest done now. Some gold on his belt. And then his hair. And then we are done for the evening. His belt is kind of hidden, to be honest. It's just his belt buckle that I'm painting. I'm using Retributor armor for that. And now to try and use the exact same one for the little piece on his shoulder. Little wolf. Painting these decals is almost as bad as painting eyes. There we go. That's not too bad. Just his hair left now. And he is ready for the next painting stream where we will shade and highlight him. What kind of ginger are we going for? Do you recommend, Signed? Do you go for a more natural colour? Oh, sorry for blocking the camera. Do you go for a more natural colour? And build it? Or do we just go bright ginger? I'm leaning more towards bright ginger. It's already pretty colourful. Squig orange maybe. And then some of the shade Fugan orange over the top, perhaps with a few blonde highlights. I think this is as natural as we can kind of get it. Maybe some scrag brown might be a good idea actually. Yeah, I'll go for scrag brown because that's kind of a orangey brown. That's probably my best bet. What I'll do then is I'll go in with scrag brown, and then I'll go over that with either Seraphim Sepia or Reichland Flesh Shade for like a brown hue when it comes to shading. That might be a good idea. And then the squig orange as a highlight. That's a good idea. Okay, fire hair. Here we go. Yeah, I think this is a good choice. And there we are. Here's this bright orange mohawk. And that is him done for the evening. So this is where we're at. Next time we come back, we'll be doing all of our shading and our highlights on this boy, along with on our direwolf as well. So we'll be adding our details, our shading and our highlights. But I think he's actually got quite a nice colour blend on him. And we'll be finishing off this base, which you can see is already actually drying pretty clear. We'll be finishing off that base and making it ice. But that'll be it for this evening. Thank you very much. I'm very happy with him. I've actually really enjoyed painting this figure. So thank you for watching. Thank you for everybody who joined in. So Signed through Discord, Archangel, Summit, Ballistic, and obviously Mr. Nerd. And anybody else who was watching on and not commenting, absolutely fine. Really do appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, as of tomorrow, we'll be playing some Warcry. So if you guys want to see us play a game of Warcry, you want to see us either succeed or fail miserably, then you will have to find out who's going to win. You'll get to see Mr. Nerd's Dominator Dave in action, and we'll get to see some of my Sylvaneth in action. So all in all, pretty good. So anyway, we will see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a lovely evening, and hopefully, Sign, you can go ahead and get some of your washing done now. But take care, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. "37 views.